And let's stay with political matters. The African National Congress is currently holding its special NEC meeting taking place in Boksburg. And that's where they are expected to deliberate on issues relating to the economy, governance and service delivery. The party is also expected to finalise guidelines for its candidate list ahead of next year's local government elections. And still on the upcoming elections, ActionSA has pinned its hopes on the City of Ekurhuleni on anti-drug crusader and former reality TV show host Xolani Khumalo. And for more on these two major events taking place today, let's now bring in political analyst Dr. or Professor Andre Duvenhage, and he joins us now via our video link. Professor, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. Let's start off here. The ANC is holding its special NEC meeting in Boksburg this weekend. Of course, this happens at a time where major implications came out from the Madlanga Commission, also that SIU report implicating some officials within the corruption taking place at the Tembisa Hospital. What are your expectations from the special NEC meeting?
Well, to start with, I think we need to take into consideration two aspects. The one is there must be a local election taking place somewhere between the beginning of November and 2026 and the beginning of February 2027. And it's also clear that the ANC at the moment is facing major challenges on many levels. We have seen some of the surveys indicating that the support base of the ANC in a national sense may drop to the level of about 30%, 10% lower than was the case in the 2024 national elections, and that was the same pattern during the 2019 versus 2021 elections. Then we also saw that Mr. Mbalula touched on a number of issues. The identification of membership are very, very key. They want quality candidates and they need the candidates to be vetted in a proper way. And we need people that can read and write when they are councillors. We know there are major challenges on a local level at the moment. Between 60 and 80% of municipalities are facing some form of dysfunctionality, and the ANC is going to strategize in this regard, concentrating on things like ethical leadership, the identification of the right leadership, but also the economy and how they can deal with economic and financial challenges, specifically addressing things like unemployment, crime, cost of living, etc. And in that sense, it is critically important.
Yeah, and Professor, I mean, the ANC really has a big task ahead because of those local government elections that we are going to next year. But at the same time, when municipalities are struggling and other political parties are even bringing forward names like Helen Zille for them a mayoral candidate for the city of Johannesburg. And just today, we saw ActionSA putting forward the name of Xolani Khumalo for the mayoral candidate in Ekurhuleni. It's quite clear that the ANC, when it comes to them choosing their members, they will have to really be going through that list with a fine-tooth comb.
Well, if we look at the tendency at the majority of parties at the moment, we can talk about high-profile candidates that were identified. We refer to Helen Zille, Xolani Khumalo, also the MK party are talking about positioning Bongani Malloy in Joburg. We have seen the DA identifying Hanif Hussein as the mayoral candidate for eThekwini. And if we look at the surveys, bring the surveys back into play, it is clear that the ANC is going to face major challenges, especially in the big metropoles. Therefore, they need to identify the right candidates in order to be competitive. Secondly, they need to have the right action plans. And from my understanding, is the president of the ANC and of the country going to announce the strategy of the ANC with regard to the local government elections, specifically the economic plan
Yeah.
and other electoral and election strategies on the road towards the 2026-2027 local elections.
And Professor, I mean, let's take a look and zoom into ActionSA and their choice when it comes to the mayoral candidate for Ekurhuleni. What do you make of Xolani Khumalo, who is also a former TV presenter known for drug busting and crime fighting? What do you make of this candidate?
Well, it's clearly that Action South Africa is going for a very high-profile candidate, a candidate they believe can compete with other competitors, and the other competitors will be parties like the Democratic Alliance, the MK Party, the ANC, maybe even the IFP. We must take into consideration that more than 470 parties has so far registered for the local election. This is definitely going to be a high-profile contest. Therefore, the selection of the right candidate in the specific metropole is of critical importance.
All right, Professor, thank you so much for your time. That's Professor Andre Duvenhage. He is a political analyst from the Northwest University there, just giving us his thoughts when it comes to the major political events taking place this weekend. That's the ANC special NEC meeting, as well as ActionSA announcing its mayoral candidate for the city of Ekurhuleni.